If you only had $20 to purchase some stash tabs, I would get number one, the currency tab, followed by a map tab, and the very last thing you would do is a premium upgrade. Now, this is all after you would buy the First Blood pack, which is really just $20, and you get $20 worth of points, you get a free normal stash tab, and you get a random weapon effect or something. Pretty much you're just spending $20 on points like you otherwise would be, but you get a free normal tab instead. So you might as well get that one first, unless you plan on upgrading to supporter packs or something like that within that league. Otherwise, you should, just buy the $20 worth of points, and those $20 worth of points will go towards a supporter pack. Okay, anyways, so why the currency map and then premium upgrade? This is all predicated on the fact that you would be able to play the game, get to maps, and do some red map farming. And for red map farming, I think just like as a base level, you're really gonna need a currency tab. Like no matter what, you can slide by. I know some people, they're in my chat, these little rats, somehow slide by with literally only one single premium tab, and that's it. Everything else is just the default like 4 or 5 normal stash tabs. So currency tab, yeah, technically you could do without it. Why the hell would you though? You are going to be swimming in currency. You're going to want hundreds and hundreds of chromes, jewelers, fusings, scours, chisels. You're going to be rolling in chaos, right? So you're really going to want that currency tab just to keep everything nice and proper, prim and proper. And you can see your chaos right away. You know how much currency you have if you ever need to purchase something. Oh, I have 450 chaos. Divines are 180 each. I can get this much. I've got enough to buy a 2 point whatever div item, whatever it is. So currency tab, really helpful for that. Obviously, you kind of need that if you're going to be blasting and farming without constantly changing all of your small currency into chaos, then into divines as you run out of space. All right, now the map tab, I'm a little more iffy on because I feel like you could technically play through a lot of the game without the map tab, just kind of paying attention, hovering alt on all of your maps just to kind of see what you've unlocked already. But the reason I say map tab is I'm thinking of the future, not just of you progressing your atlas, because you can absolutely do that without a map tab, but the future where you're grinding a bunch of city squares or Strand or Jungle Valley, and now you have like 80 plus of a map. You've got like 200 other tier 16s. Maybe you want to sell them, maybe you whatever. You're getting some guardian maps. You've got unique maps. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, right? It's really gonna be a huge pain in the ass to manage all of that in some normal tabs. Now, as far as everything else is concerned, man, if you got a currency tab, you can make a bunch of currency and store it in there, no problems. If you got a map tab, you can get a bunch of maps, store them in there, which means you're doing a lot of farming, and you can do some pretty okay farms with just a currency, a map tab, and a premium tab, or a premium upgrade, I should say, right? You've turned one of your normal default stash tabs into a premium tab for selling stuff, because your tabs need to be public and listed with a price to sell things, and you can only do that with premium tabs, or some random tool that you can technically download. I think it's Acquisition. I don't know if that still works. It posts items to the forums for you. There is a free way to sell your items. It's just way more a pain in the ass. But anyways, if you're going to use this setup, you can make it work, honestly, with a strict filter hiding all random rares, right? If you're down this bad and you have literally only one premium tab, really, you shouldn't be picking up rare items anymore, right? Once you're kind of atlas completed, ready to farm and blast, maybe, amulets, maybe, one slot that you still need upgrades for, but you just don't have the stash space for it. And you're not going to have any dump tabs to put all those items in and list them all for like 2 to 5C on league start. You just don't have that, right? You have one single premium tab, which you kind of need to keep clean, maybe at least just a corner for those few items you do get that you want to sell. All your other tabs are going to be used for everything else. All the div cards you're going to get, you're going to need to put those in a tab alongside everything else. And so having a really strict filter is super important. You need to hide all the bad splinters. So this is every splinter that isn't Chayula or Marikath / Templar. Olitol, kinda, but not really as time goes on. And you're probably not looking at this video on day 3 of the league, wondering what you should keep, right? So Olitol probably not worth it. But yeah, I mean, you've got one sale tab, so you just got to keep that in mind, right? You got to tailor your farms to things that don't require that much space. So something like Essence would be really bad because you don't have the Essence tab. They'll fill your whole normal tab very quickly if you're actually doing an Essence farm, right? You're turning 3 chaos into a full inventory of essences every single map, and it's going to get very full very quickly, and you'll have to sell them very often, and it's doable, but you probably wouldn't want to do it. Whereas something like invitation farming, you buy sets of guardians, and those do take up space. You buy some invitations, they take up a little bit more, but all you're getting in return are fragments and maven splinters, and that's, you know, in some maps, right? And that's about it, right? You're gonna get random currency, but the bulk of it is shaper or whatever you're farming fragments, and then maven splinters. And the fragments can take up a pretty decent amount of space, right? You don't have the fragment tab yet, but it's pretty easy to just dump a bunch of fragments on someone by using the TFT, and it's really not going to fill up like that quickly, and you'll be able to sell your maven splinters really easy. Whereas like with essences, you're going to be holding on to a lot of essences for a long while. It's kind of just people want to buy the good shrieking ones, or they only want to buy deafening and then flip them and all of that. Like if you're just a normal farmer, it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass. Expedition's another good one, just because you're going to get bubblegum currency, so you got the currency tab already. You're going to get some fossils, some essences. It won't be that many. Mainly a bunch of bubblegum currency and stacked decks, which do fit nicely in the currency tab. Even if it doesn't have an affinity to it, that's still very nice. Now, let's say that you're balling, okay? You got $40 now, 40. I would add a fragment tab and a quad tab to this. Now, the fragment tab, it's going to be very necessary, okay? When you're starting to do some big boy farms, because you're going to have splinters from Legion and Breach. You're going to have all the boss fragments, which is nice for if and when you want to do them. All your invitations fit in here. So all the Maven invitations, and then your Searing and Eater of Worlds. And most important is all the scarabs. So now you have access to scarab farming, which is very lucrative, and it's really good on League Start for just like raking it in and having fun, you know, aside from all the clicking. But even if you're not scarab farming, it's really nice to have that tab for all your scarabs anyways, because you're probably going to want to buy a bunch if you're doing any map farming. Even if you're not just generating a bunch of them, you'll want hundreds of them anyways. So it's really nice for that. It just adds a lot of extra space, which you desperately need on this $40 budget. And a quad tab. Now we'll go over the other tabs and why I say quad tab. Technically, you could purchase the like 6 premium tab bundle for a little bit more. I think it's like you get like 1 free premium tab. Technically, when you do that, you get 1 free premium tab compared to what you spend on the quad tab. So you have to spend a little bit more and then you get 1 for free. It's like $4 more and then you get 1 free, whatever. But man, do you really want to get 1 free premium tab at the cost of having them all separately? Personally, I think it's a bad idea, because quads are what you're going to want in excess later on anyway. I wish I could change all of my premium tabs into quad tabs. Right now, my premium tabs, I label them and use them, you know, for my streamer activities. You know, sometimes I'll label them like crap maps, and I'll put all my, you know, poorly vol orb maps in there, coping that I'll use them on some other build in the future. But yeah, honest to God, you just want a bunch of quads, man. Quads are way too busted. You can use these things as dump tabs to check for profits for whatever strategy you're using really easily. But mainly, they're going to be very useful for you to just put all of your stuff into in situations like League Start, where you can just dump everything into the quad tab for 1 to 2 chaos buyout and make some easy currency early on in the league. It's really helpful to have all of the items in a dump tab as one big dump tab instead of 4 separate ones, because when people whisper you, you can just look through your one big tab instead of having a bunch of 2C tabs that you gotta scroll through and figure out which one it is and all of that jazz. No, man, you just want a bunch of quads, right? Like the ideal world is you have a folder with all the random crap that can get affinitied, and then you just have quad tabs, quads, and you can dump everything into them, and you won't have to clean them out because you can just buy more quads. But no, you want at least one though, for sure. It has great versatility too, right? You can use these for essences. Like let's say you want to do essence farming 1 league, but you don't want to buy the essence tab because you're really only wanting to dip your toes into it or something. Well, now you can just use your quad tab for essence farming, and it's really not going to fill up because that's a lot of space. You know, the quad tab, that's a lot of essences. Now maybe it will, but probably not. You know, any other big stash space, I can't think of anything else that you'd really need a quad tab for other than kind of just like dumping or putting your essences into. Now with this setup, you are going to want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the affinity system, even with the $20, and to have one normal tab be your like div tab, right? And like we talked about earlier, you don't have a div tab yet. Strict filter is needed. Divination cards will pile up very quickly. Most of them are crap. They're just junk, and it's not even worth your time to pick them up, let alone from picking 5 of them up and then turning them in to get a bunch of crap. So lots of div cards can be filtered out. The only div cards you really should be picking up are the ones that are kind of fun, so stuff like the Void, or things that you can sell and put directly into your premium sales tab. Whether, you know, it's your normal one that you got from, you know, the $20 purchase, you just put them in there and you sell them and you get the chaos and you put that in your currency tab. And that's summing up div cards until you can get a div tab. Then you can just say, fuck it, dude, I'll just keep them in here all, like my div tab. I'm so lazy with my filters sometimes. I'm still picking up stupid cards and they just sit there and I never turn them in because it's like, man, am I really gonna sit here and click a bunch of times for like 9 vol orbs or something? You're like, what am I doing? Like, I can't imagine ever doing that outside of the first few days of the league. Now, anything past this point, let's say you got 60, 80, $100 you want to spend on this game. Do these first. These, I think, are some of the most important tabs. And anything past this, at this point, once you play with the $40 tabs for a little bit, right, you kind of get a vibe for it. Understand what you need or what you would use, kind of what you want, right? What are you looking for? Most people probably would want to have the div tab after this. So let's go for the most important to the least important, in my opinion. Obviously, not considering quad tabs, okay? If considering quad tabs, more of them would be number 1, quad tab. Buy them, okay? They're sick. Oh God, I wish I had more. I wish I could just keep buying them all league and never run out of them. All right, the most useful outside of the quad tab is div, right? We've got the divination card tab. It makes it really nice. You can see your sets right away. They got cute little pictures. All right, that's an A+ from me. That's a nice one. Essence tab. You farm a bunch of essences. You can combine them straight from the tab, right? All those stupid little whalings into screaming. They got a bunch of space for remnants and all the other cool big ones. That's a thumbs up from me. Blight. All your oils are right there. You can anoint your amulet right away. It's got storage space for some blight maps. Not a lot, but I guess enough. And all the oils you'll need for the whole league. It's pretty nice. I'd give it half of a thumb up. All right, I'd give it whatever this is. Now we start to get to the stinkers, and there's a lot of them. The delve tab. Is it nice? Yes. Do I use it all the time? No. It gets affinitied with like maybe 100 fossils every league. And, you know, when I'm doing random farms, you know, Legion drops some fossils, I guess. I got a couple fossils from Expedition, but, you know, I'm not farming delve and fossils aren't dropping that much. So the only time that B word gets filled up is when I'm actually doing some fossil crafting. So yeah, it's not really necessary. Gem tab. I really like this as a streamer, as a Mr. Broadcaster, content creator. I like the gem tab, honestly, just because when I'm done with the build, I put all my gems in there. When I'm doing another build, I can take whatever gems I need out, and all my leveled gems, leveled and quality gems are in one spot. That's really nice. This could be accomplished by a normal stash tab. So, you know, it's kind of just it's a nice UI, right? I could also, I could just put all my leveled and quality gems in a stash tab and just search for them, right? The exact same shit. So yeah, gem tab, yeah, but it's kind of nice. A unique collection would be cool, and I would recommend, and I'd shill it, okay? GGG, I would shill your nice little tab, okay? If when I have 2 copies of a unique and I'm trying to deposit one into a stash tab, it would just put the thing in there, okay? When you're using the unique collection tab and you have affinity set up for unique, let's say you have 2 Karui wards, you hold control, you left click the first Karui ward, it goes straight to the unique collection tab. You left click the second one while you're hovering over a quad tab, right? You want to deposit it, you're dumping, right? Let's say you picked up 2 and you're at the end, you're done with the map, you're dumping and you're going through everything. That second one, when you click it, it says, oopsies, you already have a copy of this in your unique tab. Yeah, okay, suck it. Okay, don't buy it. It's bad. Literally just keep track of what uniques you have that are good and F all the other ones, okay? I hate it. Flask tab, it's nice, but it also, same as the gem tab, could be accomplished by a normal tab. It's just a cute UI. If you're rolling flasks, I would buy it. If you're not, I wouldn't, right? Especially if you're poor. Metamorph tab, it's useless. Don't buy it. God, it's one of the worst. Only superseded in its uselessness by the Delirium tab. I farm Delirium maps and I don't even use the Delirium tab. Okay, you know what the Delirium tab holds? Every league, the Delirium tab holds for me 3 fossilized Delirium orbs, 4 fine, 2 ornate, 6 blacksmith, and 3 jewelers. And just multiply that by 2 for all the other pictures and colors, and that's literally all it holds. It has a T12 arcade map with 60% Delirium. It has a T8 colonnade with 20% currency reward. Like, it's useless. Even when you're farming simulacrums, they don't take, you're not farming that many sims, right? Nobody's farming 300 sims. You're probably farming like 50 sims tops, and you're like, dude, that's a lot of sims. Okay, it's bad. And in last place, absolute last place, is normal stash tab. Now, honestly, now that I think about it, I added that at the end. I think the normal stash tab more useful than the Delirium Metamorph Flask, at least. Anyways, I came up with a random thing to talk about for at least 10 minutes so that I could make some money by farming some very excited viewers on League Start. I don't know how to describe this without getting monetized. Anyways, like, subscribe. I don't know.